They inch up to the line. Count the lights and go.
Come on. Move it over.
In the very late 1950s, Chrysler Corporation was in serious financial trouble. Enter Lynn Townsend, the company controller and accountant. In the ultimate irony, that cars like this would have been developed by an accountant. The scene on Woodward Avenue was really hot, and the phenomenon of drag racing was coming into its own in its heyday. In a true story, Lynn Townsend was at the dinner table with his two teenage sons who told him the truth that there were no Chrysler cars on Woodward Avenue. So the order was made to get the engines and the cars to get them back in the game. And thus were born the famous Max Wedge engines, the 413 for 62 and the 426 Max Wedge for 1963. NHRA rule changes in 1967 mandated that the maximum cubic inch limit for any engine was 427, so Chrysler engineers very simply took the 413, punched it out, and came right in under that limit with the 426 Max Wedge. As manufacturers started pumping out high horsepower cars, Pandora's box was opened. And among that, Chrysler has one of the biggest success stories of the decade of the 60s in the turnaround. By 62 and 63 had gotten back into profitability and were producing cars like this. As the 60s evolved, you had people show up on the scene like Maverick, Al Extran, and the Lawman, and of course the factory team, the Ram Chargers. This particular example is a 1963 Plymouth Savoy 426 11-to-1 compression, shown in ermine white, one of 119 push-button automatics made, 415 horsepower, rust-free Texas car. As you can see, the beautiful interior on this car is light blue contrasted with medium blue. Bench seats, all new seat belts, beautiful cranks that are all new through the car. All the bezels are nice. Push buttons are all perfect. The dash paint is absolutely beautiful condition. Headliner is fantastic. Back seat, window cranks, glass, all the interior and the bezels are in beautiful shape. And this being a Texas car, as you can see, the door seams and all the joints and inside the door jambs are in excellent, clean condition. The one thing I love about this car is it has among the biggest stack of documentation I have ever seen on a Max Wedge car. Let's take a look at what we got in here. Dealership brochure. Restoration photos. Everything you would want to know from Maximum Performance by Jim Schild. Complete VIN breakdown. Galen Govier report. Original factory build sheet. Copies of the IBM punch card. VIN stamps in the body, as documented during the restoration. Tons of magazine information. Title. Supporting documentation. Pictures of the car from back in the day, and also restoration. And finally, and most importantly, is the Darrell Davis information, and with the registry, VIN number to this car, 123435, and that is your car. This is what I love about this particular car. The engine bay is incredibly clean. As you can see, those beautiful stock manifolds, correct radiator, correct battery, correct cross ram intake, and also you have beautiful stock correct air cleaner lids. All the wiring is neat and tidy. And as you can see, you have the original fender tag with all the build codes on the car as it was originally delivered to Texas. And on the underside of the hood, you can see the correct factory treatment of where the ribs were cut to where it would fit over the air cleaners. And what you have here is a perfect example of that early 60s Chrysler success encapsulated in this beautiful vehicle.